What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys have been safe. Hope you guys have been well. On today's video, we'll be reacting to Jbowendaman. He dropped a video called "Make Your Voices Heard" with Battlefield 6. I already watched this video once, but I'm gonna be watching it again for the sake of the reaction, and just so I can get my views and points off on some of the things that he brings up, because I think the way that he structured this video was really well. So I definitely like to give my points when he does them. So yeah, let's get into this.
I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the developers over at DICE made it very clear that they want everybody to be very vocal about their opinions when it comes down to Battlefield 6 and speak their minds on problems and issues they're having with the overall game. So in today's video, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys my personal list on fixes I want to see within Battlefield 6. I couldn't do it sooner because I needed enough time to really dive deep into all the problems, all the issues, and form my own opinions on what I realistically need to see, change when it comes to bugs and issues. And of course, as always, go down to the comment section and leave your opinions down there as well. Everybody's opinions matter when it comes to making sure that this experience is completely polished off the future of the overall franchise. And you can't really do that unless people actually speak up about what they think is wrong with the current build of the game. But ladies and gentlemen, of course, before we go and dive on deep, if you guys are interested in more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. It goes twice here, once at 8 a.m. Eastern Time and the second time at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys are interested, gotta link that channel down in the description of this video. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, first...
Real quick, before he gets into this, definitely go follow him on all his socials and everything. I have his YouTube channel definitely linked in the description down below. I've wanted to do a similar video like this for a minute, but I also had the same thought. Like, I just didn't want to make a video too quickly. 'Cause I've seen so many people doing like their thoughts and opinions, and they were doing like 6, 7 videos within the first week of the game getting out, and it's just like, how can you already have a formed opinion or like a well thought opinion in that so quick of a time? Like, I feel like that's just so premature to be doing videos like that. But so yeah, I almost have like 40 hours, which I know some people have significantly more than that, but I feel like that's enough time to finally like be able to say something that's valuable about the game. So yeah.
On my list here is the Portal server browser. Again, they really hyped it up to a decent extent, and yeah, they did go ahead and fix it a little bit. As of this current recording, I think it's a lot easier for players to go ahead and build their own servers. Beforehand, it was possible because you couldn't get your server up because there were so many bot servers open that, were taking up a bunch of space. But, DICE did already go ahead and acknowledge this. They fixed it, but I still think Portal needs a bit of tweaking still. It's very hard to, open up a server, get it populated, get people to even notice it. It doesn't matter how many players you have within the server. You could have 15, 20, 25, 30, and still, it's kind of complex to get people to actually see it within their, original browser. And on top of this, when you are in a game, I feel like there should be a shake-up option, since obviously these servers are persistent, and the game isn't ending, and you have to, go back into the overall match. There should be some type of team balancing option, where after every single game in the persistent lobby, it shakes up both sides of the team. I don't know if it'll be accurate. I don't know if they can, put in a system that would actually allow us to dictate who's the best of the best, who's the worst of the worst, and then shake it up accordingly. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me. I think that just a simple little feature that shakes up the teams will go a very long way when it comes to Portal. And again, like I said, just a little bit more discoverability. The majority of people who put up Portal servers just do it to go into private matches and farm bots. I don't really know many people who actually genuinely want to open up a server and try to...
Yeah, I'll admit I do this as well. And I know a lot of people find it disgusting, that you're just doing XP farms. But the normal XP gain amount is super, super slow. And I know people are going to be like, well, that was supposed to take long, just take your time with the game. A lot of people, obviously, I not included this, but a lot of people don't have the time to get it. And even for us that do have the time, it takes so long. Like, it takes a ridiculous amount of time. Even in the XP farms, it takes forever. I've spent countless of hours on an XP farm lobby, and the most I've gotten is like one of my guns to like level 40. I don't know how some people. I think there's different XP forms, so some of them are like way better than others. But I've seen people who have like every single gun in the game already max level. I don't know how they do that. I'm nowhere near that. I have one gun from an XP farm that's like almost maxed, and just one. The other guns that I have are from like actually playing the game and like leveling them up, and the most are like level 14, 15, maybe 16. So I get what he's saying, because a lot of those lobbies are like that. Like, people put them on persistent and whatnot, and it's just like, it's literally bot lobbies. Like, I don't think people are really using Portal for probably what they intended them to use it for. So that's definitely like something it seems like they've already addressed it, but they're definitely going to be doing more about it. So I mean, I have no problem with that. Like, I kind of expected the XP farms to go away. I had heard that it was a big thing in 2042. So, and it got, nerfed from there. So I don't doubt it's going to get nerfed from here, which wouldn't bother me in the slightest, honestly.
to build it and to build a community in it, because it's very... unless you can get like
The
hundreds of people
hell?
to try to go ahead and queue on in, you're going to be having a very rough time. Even if you want to do an official conquest server, an official breakthrough server, they make it very complex to, again, get it noticed. I would even go as far, I mentioned this in a previous video, but I would even go as far as paying money for servers again. That would be awesome. $5 to $10 a month, you can get your
That
own
doesn't
official
sound
server.
bad.
It will be listed as an official server. I think that would be great. But again, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the overall Portal experience. The next problem I have is within Conquest. There are certain instances where the enemy team will be at 0 tickets, and it'll play the ending music. The music it plays when the game is coming close to an end, non-stop, from beginning of the match all the way until the
I've
very
never
end
experienced
of the match.
those, so
And it's
I'm
quite
not
obnoxious. And I
sure.
also believe that if that happens, you can't even win the overall game, and the opponents will win by default since they're glitched at 0 tickets. I don't know if that's true or not. You can go ahead and confirm or deny in the comment section. But regardless, it is kind of obnoxious not being able to see the enemy's tickets. And
That's
again, the music
interesting.
playing non-stop it doesn't really pair too nicely. As I stated, I don't know if it's fixed because I've been playing a lot of Escalation over Conquest. I gotta be real, this game is awesome. But if it hasn't been fixed, it's good to get it out there. Next up, the footstep audio. I'll be real. There are so many instances where I am quickly turning around because my teammates' footsteps are
Yeah.
so ridiculously loud. And I have nothing wrong with that, right? But it's kind of hard to differentiate between an enemy and a friendly. I think that the footsteps need to be tweaked just a
For sure, there needs to be like a difference between how your teammates' footsteps sound and your enemy's footsteps sound. There's like multiple times like he's gonna mention where I hear the footsteps behind me. I go flip around and it's just a teammate walking behind me, but it's so loud that it almost feels like it has to be an enemy next to you. It's ridiculous. Like you cannot tell the difference between the enemy or a teammate's footsteps.
tad bit more because, as I stated, every single instance, whether it's a teammate or an enemy, I'm always checking because I can't tell the difference between the two. And it gets me killed a lot because I have some teammates running up behind me. I don't check my mini-map because I'm too focused on, the engagements in front of me. And instead of checking my mini-map, I guess I could just simply check it. But like I said, sometimes you just
I check my minimap and I still turn around to make sure that it's not an enemy because it's ridiculous. It's your teammates. It literally sounds like they got size 30 on and they're just stomping behind you. So
locked in and you're in the moment. So I hear the footsteps. They sound really loud. They sound like, the harsher enemy footsteps.
hmm
So I quickly snap, and lo and behold, it's just a teammate, and then I get shot in the back because I turned away from the current
Yep.
combat. So maybe a little bit more of an adjustment to the audio would be outstanding. And also, there is a problem that is still going on since 2042 when it comes to running with a party. For some strange reason, not every
The
single
audio is really good though, just overall. Like the audio is amazing. There's a lot of like I've talked about this to a friend. There's a lot of sounds that like I wouldn't expect to hear or like differentiate from like somebody walking on the second floor or somebody walking behind you or beside you. That it's just like I've never heard in another game. It's like the way like you can tell, oh, they're on the second floor and they're like, behind a wall or whatever. It's ridiculous. Like, so the sound design overall is really good. It's just it definitely needs a couple tweaks here and there in certain areas.
but a decent portion of the games, it always boots out at least one of my teammates out of the overall squad, and I don't
I've
know
never
why it
had
does this so
this.
consistently. It only happened for me within Battlefield 2042, but I guess this problem has transferred over to Battlefield 6 as well. I don't really know a solution, but again, I'll just throw it out there so DICE knows it's a current problem. But basically, it's random. It'll be a random person out of my squad. It'll be 4 people all together, and one of those people will get kicked before the game starts. Not during the game, not after the game. Right when we load in, they get booted to the main
Yeah,
menu.
that
We
that
have to
sounds
back
horrible.
out, rejoin, and then they're not on our squad, or the match might fill up, so, we have to either back out and pick them back up, or they have to wait in a queue to get into the game again. It's just not very fun. I don't
Yeah.
think players should be getting kicked out of your party every single time you join a game. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well to hopefully give DICE a heads up on this problem that's been, like I said, here for a long time, ever since Battlefield 2042. Another thing
I just want to mention it's really interesting to watch these videos and see the glitches that other people are experiencing, especially because for the most part, most games that I've ever played in my life, whether it be on console or PC, I've never experienced like a lot of these weird bugs. Like there's certain bugs that I hear about where I'm just like you went through that? Like that was a bug in the game. Like I didn't even know that was an issue. Like I've never seen that. So it's pretty interesting to hear like people talk about this. I'm not so surprised about this bug specifically because this is something that I have experienced in other games. Like this is like a typical bug, not just only resigned to Battlefield.
that I would personally love to see, and I think a lot of you guys would love to see this as well because I see it all over the place in comment sections, is a better FOV slider for vehicles. I gotta be real. Even at max, it's still a little bit jarring and feels like it's just so up close and personal. It's very hard to go ahead and fly around in this game.
I don't use vehicles much. The flying, I'm terrible at it. Definitely need to get better. I know they have like practice maps and stuff like that. I need to hop on those because man, I suck when it comes to the jets. When it comes to helicopters, I'm terrible, and I barely even hop on tanks and stuff like that because I'd rather somebody who's better be on it rather than me because I know I'm probably gonna get the tank destroyed like within 5 seconds. So I don't even bother hopping on vehicles. So I don't really have much to say about the vehicles.
I know others.
Except I do actually. The cars, I love hopping in the base cars, just the regular cars, driving around with those with the gun on the back. I believe those need to be faster, and I think they need to have more health. They get destroyed ridiculously fast, and they're so slow that I just feel like by the time you even catch up to the team, or you get up to the enemy team, you're already getting killed. Like they're already sniping you out or shooting you out of the driver's seat. Like you don't even have a chance, not even a chance. And especially if you're the gunner at the top, man, you're definitely dead. So I think let me know in the comments if you guys agree with that, like what your guys' experience been with the cars. But my opinion, I think they need to be faster and have more health.
Have mastered it, but for me personally, I think a little bit of a wider FOB would be very welcome. And on top of that, seeing revives on the scoreboard would go such a long way. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why this is something that still hasn't been introduced into the game, and I feel like a lot of people know about this.
I think they need to incentivize, and I've said this about other games too, about like Marvel Rivals and games like that. They need to incentivize healing more. Uh, would it hurt to give healers more XP? Like, would it hurt to if you res a bunch of people to get significantly more XP than what you currently get right now? Especially like even throwing down health like support packs. Would it hurt to give people more XP for doing stuff like that? Like I feel like it should be incentivized. Like you should want people to do that stuff more. And it's like I don't see what would be the problem with giving them more XP. That's just my opinion on that.
And have been begging for this, and I see it all over the place, but for some reason we still can't see revives. I don't know. I feel like that would be a awesome addition, and it would allow medics to kind of showcase their stats off as well, especially if
Yep.
someone's kind of high up there on the leaderboards and they don't have many kills, maybe a decent amount of deaths.
Some people go
But still
crazy
racking
with the
up a lot of score.
revives.
It'll be cool to see how many revives they have gotten across the board. I actually have another thing on my list here that got fixed pretty quickly, surprisingly, but I'm still going to mention it because I want to know if you guys think it has improved or gotten worse. But that is the boundaries for the vehicles when it comes to going out of bounds. They were quite small when the game first launched, but they went ahead and rearranged a few of them, and it does feel a tad bit better, at least in my personal
Like I said, I don't
opinion.
use
But I'll still
vehicles
love
that
to
much,
hear what you
so
guys have to say about it,
I
especially
don't
with
even
all the
notice.
mains, people who like to pilot helicopters, jets. How does it feel? Do you feel like you have a bit more space? Can you maneuver a bit? I feel like for me personally, when it comes to a lot of these maps, helicopters don't really have it that good. There's not a lot of cover, and when you get locked on, unlike other Battlefield games, you're just kind of screwed. There's not really anywhere for you to
Yeah,
go besides sitting in your home base.
that's something I've noticed a few times that I have played on a helicopter. I just get sniped out the sky like so ridiculously fast. Like I have no chance. I'm always it's either that tank that can like lock onto you, or it's always a player or like another jet just sniping me out instantly. I don't even have a chance on the helicopter.
And the outer bounds
Like I feel like even if I was a better helicopter pilot, I would still get killed real easily.
areas are still kind of tight, but again, like I said, after this update, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this overall topic. Another thing that I have is kind of something that made me a little sad when I saw them introduce this, and that is the XP, the way they have it count down within this overall game. Battlefield 2042, they had it in a perfect spot, and I thought that they were really trying to set a new trend and show some respect to their community by only allowing XP to count down in games. Basically, in 2042, if you put on a double XP token, it would only count down if you actually loaded it into a match. If you were in the menu screen, it wouldn't count whatsoever. And I was so happy they did that in 2042, but here we are in Battlefield 6, and they reverted it to the Call of Duty ways, and I really think that's pretty scummy, especially coming from EA. They had such a good system in place, and then they backstepped tremendously, with now these tokens counting down in both the menu and in-game. So just keep in mind, if you put on a double XP token, wait until you actually get in a match. And from what I hear, if you wait until the very end of the game, it'll still count all the XP you earned throughout that match and just double it at the very end, so you don't have to waste, the 10, 20 minutes of the beginning of the lobby that you're currently playing. All I can say is just time them out wisely, because this is something I don't think DICE has any control over, and it's probably going to be something we have to suck up. But I still want to mention it in this video because that was definitely a huge downside for me personally. And
There's something I heard as well, is that if you just put the double XP at the very end, you're gonna still get double XP for the entirety of the match, and it'll carry over into the next match. Now I can't remember. There was a game prior to this that also did that, where X Defiant. X Defiant. I can't remember if it was by default or it was something that they did in an update where the double XP tokens they did not count down in the menu. They only counted down while you were playing, which I think is a phenomenal thing, phenomenal like element in games. I think every game that should be the default. The XP should count down only when you're playing. I have a 30-minute XP token, and like 15 minutes of that 30 minutes is me in the lobby menu waiting, after, you've already finished the match, and to getting into the next match. It's like most of that's gone. So I think that's pretty dumb, especially for a game like Rainbow for example. Rainbow, you get those day like double XP things, but it's like you're gonna be sleeping. You're not gonna be playing for 24 hours. You're gonna be sleeping a lot of that. So most of that's going to waste. So I just think that's dumb. So they definitely need to make a default just countdown only in the game.
Guys, this one on the list is a massive one. I know there's a lot of different opinions about this take, and I'm just sharing my opinion. You have to keep in mind, I'm nobody special. I'm just a random dude on the internet, and I'm sharing what I think is great about Battlefield. But the
Same.
smokes being locked to support is so booty cheeks for me when it
Yeah,
comes to this game.
should be every
It's
class.
really rough. I loved when you could use smokes across all different classes because smokes have become my main. I love them. I adore them.
And I feel like it would make more sense to have them on recon as well because it's like your recon. I feel like being able to be hidden like by smoke if you're getting sniped at by another sniper or whatever, you're just gonna make a quick escape or something like that, or just get to a better angle. So you throw it on a smoke to get to that better vantage point. Like that just makes sense.
It allows me to be aggressive and actually push objectives and help my team. When I don't have a smoke, I feel like a lot of my engagements become a lot more stationary. And I'm too scared to cross, ground until a support player, drops smoke. But in all reality, if you don't have a support player on your team that you're talking to, what support's going to, coordinate their smokes with you? None of
Exactly.
them. The majority of their smokes are used for themselves and themselves only. So a lot of the time, I'm just kind of screwed, and I have to play the game completely different compared to if I had smokes, at my disposal, no matter what class I picked. I know, again, this is an opinion that isn't the best in the Battlefield community. I know a lot of people are happy about it being locked behind support, but I'll still love to hear everybody's opinions if you agree with the statement or if you disagree.
No, I agree. I agree with that for sure. I also let me know if you guys agree with this or not. I think either smokes need to be like nerfed in the sense of less smokes are given to a character, like one smoke, but they recharge incredibly quickly, or just like maybe the smokes don't last in the match as long. Now, I say this because a lot of my matches, it's just like there's so many support players, and I'm seeing like 50 smokes get thrown out on both sides of the team, and I can't see nothing the whole match. I'm just like I'm looking over, like just a big old cloud, and then you get past that one cloud, and then there's another smoke right there, or you're sitting on objective, or even if you're not sitting objective, let's say you're attacking, right? Your team throws smokes to the objective, and now you can't shoot at anybody on the objective, and they just give everybody on the objective basically cover to stay on there. And then once the smoke goes away, your teammate throws another smoke. And don't get me wrong, the way that they did the smokes in this game are phenomenal. The way that it expands and stays, like I've never seen another game do the smoke this way. It like the way it like sits in the map and it expands, I think is the coolest thing. It looks really, really well done. But because it's really well done, I can't see nothing the entire match. I hate it so much. Um, so that's just my opinion. Let me know down in the comments if you guys agree with that or not.
But I genuinely think that smoke should be universal, just like the frag grenade. Basically, on assault, support, engineer, and recon. The
For
frag
sure.
grenade could be used across all these classes. Well, all of them still have their designated equipment. Things like anti-tank grenades for only engineer, or the motion grenades only for recon. The flashes only for assault. Stuff like that is okay. But smokes, I think, along with frags, should be universal for everybody. But again, that's just my 2 cents. Once again, this next upcoming criticism might be kind of controversial, but I still want to share it with you guys. And that is my hatred for the sweet spot mechanic when it comes down to sniper rifles within Battlefield 6. For those who don't know, there's one game and one game only in the whole Battlefield franchise where you can get a one-shot kill on an opponent with a sniper rifle in Battlefield while they're still at full HP, and that is in Battlefield 1. Basically, depending on the range that you are at and also the sniper rifle that you're using, each one had a different range where they had a sweet spot mechanic.
I like
So
where
if
the
you got
sniper
the
rifles
correct
are at right
range, you
now.
can basically one-shot them. I completely forget. I think it's maybe chest only. I don't know if it's different body parts, but I'm pretty positive it's upper torso. And you get a one-shot kill. And I know a lot of people are probably going to celebrate this and say this should be in Battlefield, but it shouldn't. Battlefield sniper rifles take a lot of skill and a lot of thinking as well. And headshot is king. Either you're trying to nail headshots or you're supporting your team, being a good recon player, keeping yourself near the objective, not, 50 trillion miles away, to where you can pluck opponents and do damage, hit them in the legs, hit them up torso, make them extraordinarily weak, so when your team is pushing in, they can finish them off, or while your team is making them weak, they're all pretty much one-shot. As long as they're a little under 100 HP, you can pretty much one-tap them to any part of their body. It's only when they're 100 HP that you can't, but in Battlefield 6, they brought back the sweet spot mechanic, which allows some snipers at certain ranges to one-shot you to the chest, even at 100 HP, and it's just I don't know. I've never been a fan of that. I prefer Battlefield snipers having one-shot headshot, two-shot to the body, and again, if they're hurt, then yeah, make it one-shot. But I still feel like that is the best way of handling things. And I also have to talk about the adrenaline injector within the assault class.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say when it comes to the sniper because I just recently started using the sniper, say a couple days ago, and I've been getting better at it progressively. But even with the sweet spot mechanic, I still find it difficult to snipe. Now, I have seen clips of people just, absolutely snapping in a match. Um, and I don't think that's easy. I think that takes a lot of practice to get to that point where you're just snapping on everybody. But for me, even with the sweet spot, I'm still, I'll get like 90 damage, 70, 60 damage. I hit them in the toe or whatever. And I find it really difficult to still even land those shots because a lot of people are running around, sliding, ducking, and dodging. So I only really get kills when people are standing like perfectly still. Um, so yeah, so to me, the sweet spot mechanic doesn't really change my sniping ability much. Now, if they took it out, I probably wouldn't use the snipers that much because I would be absolutely dog water at them. But you guys, let me know. Do you think the snipers are too much right now? You think that sweet spot mechanic is too much? I definitely got to read his comment section because I got to see what people think about that. So yeah.
Gotta be real. I play a decent amount of Assault because I really enjoy the spawn beacon. I think it's extraordinarily useful to keep your team up in the action and keep applying pressure to certain flags. And I also love the ladder because it allows me and my squad to get to really cheeky spots and really cheeky head glitches that you typically wouldn't see, and it catches a lot of opponents off guard. And also,
I
all
bet
that
it
equipment,
does.
although the Assault class is known as the Greedy class, all of that equipment is used universally. Like I said, my squad mates always benefit from my spawn beacons, and they always benefit from my ladders being able to use the head glitches and things that I make for them. But the adrenaline injector is the standard equipment. It used to be a stim back in the early, play tests, so you could actually heal yourself, but a lot of people complained about being able to heal yourself and said it takes away from the support role. Honestly, I didn't mind, just like in like 2040, I know 2042 is a bad example and people hate it, but that's how you get extra medicine. You know what I'm saying? You can't always have a stim shot on you.
Now, when I first watched this video, that was actually like news to me because I always used the stem up till today. I always used the stem when I got hurt. Like when my health was low, I would pop a stem real quick because I thought it was healing me. I just thought that they had like reduced it since the beta. I thought they made it like significantly slower. I didn't know that it was specifically just a speed boost and it actually wasn't giving you any health. So that's new to me.
You use it and it's gone, and the only way you can get one back is if a support player actually has a med box for you.
Yeah,
So at the end of
I
the day, you
think they
still
should bring
needed
back
a support player all the time.
the
You couldn't
health.
just have infinite stims and just never have to worry about support being your main med system. No, if you want meds, you gotta go to a support player no matter what. But
Yeah,
still, people didn't like it. They changed it to basically just giving you a speed boost, and I think it's also a reduction to stuns. But the only class that really has stuns is Assault. So, I'm going to be real. The majority of situations that you use the adrenaline injector are completely pointless. The best case scenario is when you need to run from point A to point B and you just want a little bit of a speed boost to get you there faster. But there's very few times I ever think of injecting myself with this thing ever in combat. I'd much rather just prioritize, getting up in there, make sure my gun is ready for any opponent and just leave it at that. So I feel like some tweaks would be very helpful to make sure that thing is a bit more used, because I
for
don't think many
sure.
Assault players even use this thing. It just kind of sits there, and it's a wasted slot when it could be something a lot more handy, in my personal opinion. And last but not least, this one is probably not going to be changed that much, but I still had to put it in this video because I think it's horrible. The UI in this game, it is absolutely horrifying.
It's
Not the in-game UI,
disgusting.
but when you're in the menu screen, that side-scrolling Hulu
Yep.
mentality that every single game in the world is picking up now. I despise it. It's so ugly. It's hideous. It ruins everything. And on a game, too, that has, I enjoy the backdrop of having all your characters, sitting around with their gear, their loadouts, looking really dope. I like that, but then you have this whole side-scrolling UI that even, overcomes the players who are on the screen. Like, it just takes over everything. It looks horrible. I hope they tweak it. I really hope
For
they tweak it.
sure.
I've seen a ton of different examples on Reddit that look phenomenal, but 9 times out of 10, this is going to stay.
I gotta
I
check
don't
them
know
out.
why all these publishers want to force these in their game. Maybe they have statistics behind the scenes saying that, it's better for retention or something. I don't know. I'm so tired of stats dictating choices within these games. Sometimes stats can be useful and they can be handy, but then there's other instances where they just give us crap. Absolute crap, garbage. Like Call of Duty skill-based matchmaking, for example. They claim their stats show us that, having skill-based matchmaking is better, and here we are with BO7, and it's now removed. Apparently, us, the community, was correct this whole time, but again, still to this day, the stats prove us wrong, but here they are changing it. You shouldn't always track down with the stats, especially when it comes to the UI for Battlefield. I really hope they change it because it looks ugly in Battlefield 6, and it's so hard to navigate if you're a new player. Once you get the hang of it, obviously you'll know. If you have, a decent amount of hours in this game, you'll definitely be able to scan through everything, but for a newcomer, it is very, very Just it's bad. That's the
Yeah.
simplest way I can put it. It
Yeah,
is
they gotta
bad.
change the
But
UI for sure.
ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Please make sure you go down in the comment section and make sure your voices are heard. I'm begging you. Leave your opinions on what you think should be changed, things that could be improved, and give good constructive criticism. I know there's going to be tons of, trolls out there that are just going to be like, oh, Battlefield 6 bad,
Yep.
Battlefield 6 trash, garbage, so on, so like, nothing really to say. But for those who do genuinely want to see good things happen to this game in a good future, leave a list on what you think could be improved, things that, you want to see in the upcoming future, and, make sure you give some details with it as well, because no details makes it kind of pointless and hard for a lot of these developers to, understand what you're trying to say and what you're trying to get at. But, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post twice here, once at 8 a.m. Eastern Time and a second time at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, you can link that channel down in the description of this video. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.
Yeah, guys, definitely go check out his channel. I'll leave a link to his YouTube at least, and then you guys from there you guys can go check out his Twitch and all that. Now I have I just have a few more things to mention besides the stuff that he added. Now you guys can let me know if these things you find these things to be problems or big things or not. One of them is, now this one isn't too bad. I just experienced this one. Is real quick. The little Wally drone. That thing kills you ridiculously fast. At least me. I remember being in a match and I didn't even hear the Wally drone like coming up behind me. As soon as I got the the screen went red as if I was taking damage, I turned around instantly and was dead. I was already dead. I had zero chance of doing anything against the Wally. So I don't know if anybody else is experiencing like a lot of issues with that, or anybody else is experiencing that. But at least for me, I thought that was pretty bullshit. Now, I don't know if it should be nerfed or not, because like I said, I haven't really seen many people even using it. So it hasn't been a big problem. I just think like it should not be able to kill a player that quickly. But moving on to the next one, I feel like I get sniped more by tanks than I do actual snipers. It's ridiculous how many times I'd be looking on the map, or I'll be sniping, and I'm just like, and I'm taking these shots to the face, and I'm looking over, and it's a tank. It's a tank. The tank is like almost 200 meters away, and he's sniping at me, and I'm like, yo, like this is ridiculous. Like I just don't. I don't know if that's the usual. I used to play a ton of Battlefield 4. I don't ever remember getting sniped by tanks. Um, so maybe to you guys that's not a problem, but to me, I just think it's bullshit. Like anytime I'm just like I'm sniping, and it's like I said, it's not even mostly other players sniping me. It's the tanks that are getting me. So I think that's like significantly annoying. So one of my other like criticism, now this isn't even so much the game itself. This is the player base, but I dislike how people act as if like Battlefield players can't be toxic as well, when they most certainly can. Battlefield players are obviously like, you're gonna have racism, sexism, homophobia like in any game, and so to act like Battlefield players aren't that, I think is pretty disingenuous. Especially when I receive a lot of toxicity like in the game, I see it towards other players, even myself. Um, and I think it's pretty unfair. Also, like just the heavy criticism against anybody who even has like a differing opinion about Battlefield, I think is nuts. Now, when people try to change the game completely, you can have an opinion about that, and I think you could think that they're wrong, and that's fine. I just think when people like go like nuts on the person, for example, Nade Shot. Nade Shot had made a video where he was talking about or he was on live doing this, but he was basically talking about like camos and stuff. Um, and I remember that pissed a lot of people off that he brought up camos. Nadeshot isn't part of like the Battlefield 6 development team. Like they're not gonna change the camos because Nadeshot says something about it. So I don't think Nadeshot wanting more camos should like he should receive like a ton of backlash for that. That's his opinion. If he wants to have that opinion, he's allowed to have that opinion. And I think that goes for like a lot of people who are playing Battlefield 6 and they have just a differing opinion, especially the ones who are they're not being aggressive about it. Um, I'll give an example like Face Swag. Face Swag at this point, I don't even I don't even watch none of his videos or any of his clips. I only see his clips when like Jay Bowen or I forget the other guy's name, but there's like another YouTuber. I think he came from like Call of Duty and he plays Battlefield. He's like a red hat, I believe, all the time. When they react to Facewags videos, that's the only times like I'll acknowledge it. But it's like it's so obvious that he's trolling. It's so obvious that he's trolling. It's so obvious that he's rage baiting. So it's like, why even take it serious? You know, why even take it serious? Why even bother like acknowledging it when it's like, you know that he's just doing it for clicks and views. Like at this point, like, how many times are we gonna do another face swag video? You know, because at this point you're just keeping his name alive. Like you're helping him with like with getting attention. Whether that attention is bad or good, it's obviously helping him. That's why he keeps doing it. So it's like, why keep covering it? Like we know he's gonna have a bad opinion. We know he's gonna say something stupid. We know he's gonna say something that's gonna upset a lot of people. So I don't even see the point of like reacting to face swag. Like I wanted to do a video, but it was just like there's so many videos about it already that it's like it's honestly pointless because it's he's gonna keep having these opinions. There's gonna be a bunch more clips of him saying even more stupid or dumb stuff about Battlefield, and it's like, what are you expecting? Are we expecting like something for him to say something different? Like we know he's gonna have a bad view on the game, so it's like I think it just need to be let go. I think it need to be let go. Forget it. Just like don't acknowledge him when he makes a video or whatever. And I feel like it'll die down. It'll die down. You know, once he realizes that people are not falling for the rage bait anymore, he'll go right back to Call of Duty once the full game drops and they got like all their Warzone and stuff. He'll hop on that. So yeah, but um, besides that, I'm trying to think. I don't really have many more complaints about the game. I've been really enjoying my time on this game. This game's really fun. Um, a lot of the elements are really good. A lot of people don't like the campaign. I just played, I think it's like story mission 1, 2, and 3, or I'm on story mission 3. Yeah, I think I'm like on story mission 3. It's not the most interesting story. I'll be honest. Like I remember Battlefield 4. That story was yo the characters on that man. But this one, I don't see it as terrible, but it's definitely yeah, it's not as intriguing. But besides that, that's pretty much all I have to say for this. Please, you guys, go follow Jbowendaman. Go check out his channel and yeah, definitely leave a like and subscribe on this video. Please comment what your guys' opinions are, what you guys would like to see changed, and maybe what you wouldn't want to see changed in the video or in the game. And yeah, peace, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.